Welcome in to Remedial Adventuring 401, a new real play TTRPG podcast. I'm Adam Souza, and I will be your guide through this fantastical journey as your DM. Prepare for an epic tale with 6 adventurers, each bearing the weight of their past failures from their original parties. Now thrown together in the remedial class, they're on a quest for redemption and their elusive adventuring license in the captivating realm of Alorium. So, gather around the virtual table, wield your dice, and brace for a tale of second chances, daring escapades, and the pursuit of greatness amidst setbacks. Welcome to Remedial Adventuring 401, where new legends emerge from failure. So it's been a while, so a quick recap. You have, you escaped a crashing airship, landed in the middle of nowhere, found your way to an abandoned little village that only speaks Draconic, as you saw a group of sheep which disappeared as you went towards a large European-style castle. And upon reaching the castle, you have entered into the main entry room. It's not really meant to be a room, but there is a bit of a buffet left out with recently cooked food, drink available, but there are no people, at least not alive. There are a lot of dead bodies that have been actively defeated with force, as well as a couple of slashing wounds and things like that. But yes, we had left off with you entering that room and feeling a little uncomfortable. You didn't want to eat the food, I think. But that's where we were. Yeah. So to give you a write-up of exactly where you are in space, you are in a quite large entry hall. There are pillars, 2 rows of pillars that lead to a staircase that leads upwards. The top of the stairs split to the left and to the right. There's a large door directly at the top of the stairs and 2 smaller doors, one's on the left, one on the right. On the same floor as you, there is a fireplace to the left and a door to the right. There is a fire in the fireplace and there are candles burning, but otherwise the building doesn't really get a lot of direct sunlight, so it's quite dim in here.
Okay. Out of character, I definitely want to see if I see any humanoid features, maybe a face on any of the candles. In character, I want to avoid that food like the plague. That's how they get you. Eustace, this is not Eustace's first time at some kind of tricky buffet. This is how cults get you. This is an impressive trick.
And one last bit of detail was the fact that this building is very old and not very well upkept. It's not dilapidated, like it's not falling apart, but it's definitely showing its age.
So it has good character, definite fixer-upper.
But the food is fresh. It was made today.
Okay.
Oh, not mine.
But yes, the group of you are all together now. You're all inside. And there are a lot of dead bodies on the floor, but not near where the food is prepared. It does seem like that area is at least clear of dead bodies.
Where are the dead bodies mostly around? Fireplace, door?
The majority of them are by the front entrance, but it seems to be strewn about all over, including the staircase upwards. And yeah.
I'd like to investigate the wounds or any. How you said are the dead bodies are fresh or the buffet? Which one? Or both?
The buffet is fresh. The dead bodies are very old, but you could check if you'd like.
Yeah, I'd like to just see if I could pick up what's going on, what killed him.
Sure.
Maybe it was bad food.
One point in history, people were particularly excited to get in here.
It's a party, and everyone's invited.
I think no one was invited, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
Give me a medicine check or an investigation check. It will give you 2 different results, but you can make your choice.
All right. Investigation check. That's a 15.
Okay. With a 15 on your investigation of these bodies, you can see that they have various forms of wounds. It's not like, oh, they were all brought down by the same sword, or, oh, they were all like diseased, or oh, they were all this. It seems like either A, there were multiple parties attacking these people, or B, there was a person or like one party or maybe like a small number of parties that had multiple ways of attacking. But it's
okay. Could I do one further specific investigation? I want to look for maybe cutlery-based wounds, maybe kitchen
Sure.
utensils.
Sure. Give me a nature check.
Okay, that's a 6.
All right. I mean, how many times have you seen cutlery-based wounds?
Probably, maybe a handful of times. And I mean that genuinely in character. No, I'm just kidding. Probably never.
So yeah, you really don't have much to compare to. But I will say that as far as damage types, there does seem to be force damage and slashing damage and stabbing damage.
Okay.
But you don't see like flame damage. So if you were worried about candles, that might not be it.
Is Hollybrook picking up any signs of like ghosts or just are there presences here that may not be seen?
So there was something, I believe, that was a last session that was interesting to you because there were no ghosts around. And then after you had gone to the church, you realized that the church is not the same religion as the ones that you guys are used to. Yep. So either A, it's a different type of ghost than you're used to, or B, the religion, these people moved on to a different place than you would expect. So like you don't have the connection to the spiritual plane here.
I remember that now. Hollybrook would not eat the food. She's too bougie for that, sadly.
Well, I will say that this is like a very high class buffet. Like there are finger sandwiches, there are macarons, there are like fresh fruit, things like that. It's not just like, oh, here's some spaghetti. It's like this is very high class. It's not quite a full meal, but it's definitely more than just like a snack.
So Hollybrook would recognize this as like a fancy, maybe not like a dinner party, but a I don't want to say like full course dinner, but
this is like a little bit more than tea, but not quite a full meal. Yeah.
Okay. Poor Adam's like, dear God, it's been a month and they're still this dumb.
He's like, the fireplace and the door are right there.
It's the board. It's just the floorboards all over again. Should we try some of this food or should we go explore?
Eustace definitely warns you away from the food and say, that's how they get you. Hospitality rights. One wrong move. And then he gestures to the bodies over there.
Don't touch the food. That's
Do any of us have anything against poison?
IHAS does not. Carbon Fang does not. Cassandra does not, unless it's magical effects. It's just advantage. Eustace can't be charmed or put to sleep, or at least has advantage. Hollybrook does not, and you can't be frightened, or at least have advantage against it. But that's it.
Okay.
So if it's a spooky macaroon, maybe.
All right, new screen name.
Yeah, so I think we should. I mean, the food looks great, but if you don't think we should eat it, then do we take the upstairs, take the door?
I'd say let's take the door, but can we swing by the fireplace first to investigate if any, any clues over there, perhaps maybe villainous song that somebody sang nearby, maybe something about hellfire.
Eustace, give me a flat D20. Just roll a D20.
Okay. That's a 7.
Okay. Cool. So whatever you guys would like to do.
I wanted to say, does the candles and does the fireplace, does it look normal? I mean, like...
It doesn't look like it's magic. It looks just like candles. It looks like a fireplace. Also, give me either an intelligence check or a nature check.
Well, her intelligence is a -2, so we're definitely not going down that road. What was the other one you said?
Nature.
Oh, that's a -2 as well. So,
or an investigation.
Oh, that's a -2 as well.
Oh my God! You got your pick.
You know what? Let's go intelligence. Let's just see what happens with the. And I can't see it because it's behind the thing. It's
a 5. Yeah, I mean these are candles.
Does Hollybrook at least realize that fire's hot?
Oh yeah.
With an intelligence of -2 and a nature of -2, and I mean, yeah. She's definitely not the reddest bulb in the bunch. But wait, her wisdom's a +6. How does that work?
Well, wisdom and intelligence are two different things. You don't know things, but you know things.
Yeah.
Like you don't understand the social dynamics, but you know why it would make you look uncool. Like you're like, nah, that would just make me look bad. Like
You've never picked up a book in your life, but you're just really good at what would be in the book.
You never learned to read.
street smarts.
What's IHAS doing?
IHAS is examining the food, not trying to eat it, just trying to see if he can sniff out anything odd about it.
Sure. Give me first give me an investigation check to kind of look it over and like check it out.
That's a 2.
Okay. I mean, it's food.
All right.
Actually, you know what? Give me a Constitution saving throw.
There we go. That's a 20.
Okay, cool. It's food. None of you are percepting anything. What would you like to do?
To the other room, to the door.
To the window, to the wall.
Somewhere we can possibly roll better.
Carbon Fang makes a hard right to where the door is. Opening the door, she finds behind it I don't know if I would call it a large library or a small library, because it's smaller than an actual library, but for a house, it's quite large. A full large room filled from floor to ceiling with books. A nice seating area to read, some tables where you can like put out different reference books, a globe, things like that. And it does seem to be, everything is in Draconic, which of course she reads. And she decides she's going to go spend some time in there. Anybody who wishes to go into the library may do so, or you could leave her to the room.
Hollybrook follows.
I think I'd like to go.
Yeah. IHAS wants to check out the books, hopefully have better luck than the last time he was in a Draconic bookstore.
Okay, so I think that was IHAS, Cassandra, and Hollybrook?
Yep.
Okay, what about
Yeah,
you,
with my
Sister
little
Marvin?
amulet, I should be able to read everything, right?
I'll go.
Yeah. Okay. Is Eustace going to go, or are you going to stay by yourself?
Eustace will go. Eustace does not want to be left alone in a creepy murder mansion. So.
This is a good self-preservation tactic. All right, you guys enter in. What's everyone's passive perception?
Passive
Wow.
perception.
And does anyone beat a 15?
I have a 16. No, wait, that's passive wisdom in parentheses perception.
Perception. Yep, that's correct.
I got 16.
So Hollybrook, you enter in. You don't read any of the titles, and you just don't read in general, anyways. But you do know about the world. You are wise. And as you look at the large globe, it's a golden color. It's not made of gold, but it's a golden color, like goldenrod kind of deal. And you look at the map, it is not a map you recognize. And if this is supposed to be the planet you're on, it's wrong. Or maybe out of date. You don't know.
Oh, that's great. That ties in what I wanted to do.
Okay.
I wanted to go to the globe anyway
Mhm.
and inspect it because in every teenage drama that Hollybrook has read, the globe always comes apart in two halves and there's things hidden in it.
You give the northern hemisphere a twist. It opens up, and there are some bottles of alcohol inside.
Yeah. All right.
So, as Hollybrook did that, she does pass on the information that, hey, guys, look, and shows the two halves of the globe, and then realizes, hey, wait a minute, guys, these globe, the map doesn't look right. Is this our planet? And points to the two halves and like, guys, is this right?
IHAS goes to examine the booze to make sure the booze looks.
You know what? IHAS, you can read the labels since you read Draconic. None of the labels sound familiar to you, but you are in a different country, so it does make sense. But it seems like similar things that you would drink. There's a whiskey, there's a bourbon, and then vodka.
All right, who wants what? IHAS starts to is looking for.
I feel like this follows the same rules as the food outside.
They
We
kept
don't
this
touch
hidden.
anything.
They didn't want us to do this stuff. This was hidden.
Yeah, probably even a better reason not to drink it.
So,
as much as I would like, I am teetotaled.
I mean,
I
as
has
much
takes
Hollybrook-
a bottle of bourbon.
as much as Hollybrook enjoys her weekends of debauchery, she does bring up the fact that, again, guys, this globe doesn't look right. Are these the same continents as ours? I don't think they are.
Also, with that, give me a just a perception check. It's a DC 5. You notice that the map, the globe, is, of course, like I said, a globe. It's a sphere. But it's, as you kind of look at the continents, you're like, oh, these continents aren't our continents. You notice that 2 parts of the map are like unfinished. There's missing bits to it.
Oh, are there any words on it that IHAS might be able to read?
IHAS can read it, yes.
So, do I see those? Can I point those out to IHAS and say, hey, what's these say?
So IHAS, she's pointing to Mer du Nord, which is just North Ocean. Other things are just similar things like oceans, rivers, continents, countries and towns and rivers, things you have never heard of before.
Yeah, just like.
And as you guys look at the maps, Carbon Fan comes over with her maps, unrolls them, and you can see there's no overlap whatsoever.
Well, that answers what I was just about to ask. Didn't know if it was a tricky, inverted map or sinking continents. So there's no pattern whatsoever. Completely different.
So you guys live in I believe you live in like a Pangea, correct? Let me double check the map real quick. Yeah, kind of. This is like there are very defined continents with oceans between them instead of your giant landmass.
Okay.
Interesting.
And even if you're to be like, oh, maybe the oceans are different, it's like there's nothing that matches. Even like the mountain ranges don't match up.
Okay. Completely different with no discernible pattern.
No, not if you try to compare your map with this map, there's nothing that matches.
Okay.
Other than like the north is up and south is down. That's it.
I'm still saying this is the Fae, and that makes this a map of the Underhill.
One weird question: is the axis of rotation about the same, or is it different?
I mean, as far as you're aware, yes, because there is like a North Pole and a South Pole and a not prime meridian. God, equator. Jesus.
Okay, but it's not like rotated on its side and spinning like a tire or anything.
No. So
Okay.
I mean, there's 2 poles, and that's where the axis is.
Gotcha.
So it is, in fact, a globe.
It is, in fact, a globe that we know nothing about.
Yes.
Well, check out these books.
I feel like this is another sheep situation.
So Hollybrook brings up, she goes, okay, well, if the globe is a hidden thing, then maybe there's a book in here that we can pull that opens up a secret. This is like the equivalent of every teenage Scooby-Doo mystery, whatever you want to call it.
Nancy Drew undead.
Yeah.
Nancy Drew.
Undrew of Nancy did.
We are, in fact, Scooby Don't.
IHAS and Cassandra, can you both give me investigation checks? And then I'm going to roll for Carbon Thumb.
Yeah, check that out.
20. Dirty 20.
All right, so two 20s and a 1. So IHAS does not do books. But the ladies go out and you find several books. Most of the books are fiction, and you can kind of toss those aside. But there are a few quote unquote nonfiction books. But of course, despite being able to read the language, a lot of it doesn't make sense. Anything that has to do with history, anything that has to do with politics, anything that has to do with like things that happen in the world you do not recognize. So either the world was really weird 150 years ago, or these books are fake, or these books refer to a place that you are not from.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking the latter. I mean, let's face some facts here. While we do appreciate very good world building, I doubt someone would go to that extent here.
Can Hollybrook be in the background? Just start pulling books. Just while
You're gonna spend a couple minutes pulling every book cover just to see if it possibly opens up a thing.
I mean,
all right.
Yeah, I was just pulling them off the shelf and looking at the cover and then throwing them behind me if they were look like fiction or nothing important. Dumb.
Are there
Yeah,
any
I has is just checking for nude pictures.
There's one like thing about anatomy that you find, which technically has nude photos.
Yeah, it does. Technical nude.
Although you know what, give me a either a nature check or an intelligence check.
Right.
If they're skinless, is it technically nude?
I mean, technically, there's no clothes.
No.
wonder if you're nervous.
With a 13, the only thing that, or not the only thing, but one of the things that does strike out to you is this is like a biology book, and it's distinctly and solely humans.
Oh.
oh,
Yeah, everyone speaks Draconic here, but the book is just human anatomy. That's.
Does it say how to prepare? Are there any recipes?
How to serve man.
How to serve man. Do I see any books that look exalted compared to the others? Perhaps one that is out and open and with gold trim leaf, or something in a on a pedestal. Are there any like
nothing
looking books?
Nothing on a pedestal, but there is a book out on a table next to one of the sitting chairs.
I'd like to go take a look at it and bring Cassandra over, since she can read with her amulet, right?
Yes, I did in fact learn how to read.
Okay. As you go to the chair, it's a fiction book. It's just a fiction book, but it is well used. The binding is a little bit soft. It's been read many a times, and the pages are also a little bit more worn than some of these other books.
Okay. What's the title?
Your penthouse. I never thought this would happen to me.
I got a case. That's the shit.
Yeah, what is the title?
It doesn't really translate. It's someone's name.
The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
No.
Ilya Moromith.
Jane Eyre.
Emma.
Beast Mode, an autobiography by the Beast.
It's that. That's the word that you see there.
Well, that's very French. And now it's making my brain wander.
A
French dictionary.
On the front cover, you see
myself French right now, anyway. So it's fine.
On the front cover, you see two men, both of them having swords that cross in the air.
Oh, one who fights with sword.
Oh,
or
okay.
Sword handler.
What type of swords are they? Are they?
This could be about sword
kind?
fighting, or it could be about air quotes sword fighting.
Are they the slashing kind of swords, or the pokey kind of swords?
These are slashing. These are like straight up swords, like you would think of King Arthur's knights kind of guy.
Okay, so not fencing then.
Not fencing.
Okay.
Although that would be French.
That's what, and it does vaguely remind me of that series of vowels and consonants that you have pasted into the chat that I will not try to pronounce.
Epistes.
Epistes. Epistes. All right. Okay.
Pasties.
So pasties.
Pasties.
Hey, I has. We might have a lead over here.
Honestly, when I first thought, I honestly thought it said a penis. I'm sitting far enough away from okay. I need to start getting glasses.
Penis. I could see. Okay, yeah.
With that, you all kind of feel like you haven't really found anything in this room. Carbon Fang offers to stay in this room to continue looking, but offers that the rest of you look elsewhere. She feels safe in this room.
Thank you, Carbon Fang, and thinly veiled advice from the DM. We appreciate it. To the next room.
Up and away.
So going back to the main hall, unless anyone wants to stop, going back to the main hall, again, there's the staircase, a grand staircase that leads up, and it kind of bends to go to left and right. There's a large doorway to the front and two small doors, one on the left, one on the right.
Rock, paper, scissors for left or right?
I think I have some advice. I pull out my choosing dice
Okay.
that help divine decisions to be made by me and others.
So what is the
Someone
yes
is
or
scared
no?
of ghosts. You do like dice telling you what to do.
It's different. It's very different. You wouldn't understand.
Subtly different.
Don't touch my dice.
Don't touch my dice.
They're very important. Now I have to go look up how to use the dice. Give me just a second.
Do a yes or no question, and it's a 1 or 2 is a yes, a 3 or 4 is a no, a 5 or 6 is roll again.
Okay, Cassandra, could you point to a door and say, should we go into this door, yes or no?
I'm pointing to the right, the door on the right.
All right.
Should we go in this door, yes or no?
Got a 1.
That's a yes.
Ding, ding, ding.
So you guys ascend the stairs and then go through the right. Going into the right, you find a hallway that leads past this door. The hallway is mostly barren, although there's like some decorations. And then there seems to be 2 doors that are fully barricaded, and then a third door at the end of the hallway that seems to be not barricaded in the least.
When you say fully barricaded, can you describe to me exactly what you mean?
Sure. It's definitely a door, and you can see like the molding of the door, and you can see the wood of the door. But there are large planks across it, nails, things like that, and it's probably about 80% obscured, with only about 20% of the door actually visible.
And it's made of wood, you say?
Yes.
So it would, of course, follow logically that the boards locking the door up would be flammable.
Yes.
Okay. Just checking.
Flammable, you say?
Would you say?
What?
Also, not impervious to like, weapon attacks, but
Yeah, but I can shoot fire out of my hands. Why am I going to use the sword? I'm going to shoot fire out of my hands.
So like you may have said it, I may have missed it. Does this place like look dusty, or does it look at least kept up? Like people are dusting and cleaning and taking care of the cobwebs, and
it's lived in but not cleaned. There's definitely the corners are very dusty. There are cobwebs on the ceiling. There's I don't want to say refuse, but just small things that have been tracked in by feet. But there's also a very clear path down the hall where someone has probably gone up and down and not so much polished the floor, but has gotten rid of the dust in the center of the hall.
does one of the doors look like there's a well-worn path to one door compared to the others?
Yeah, the one that's not barricaded.
So shall we start with the door that's not barricaded?
Sounds good, but why don't we let the dice decide? I will. Eustace immediately is just like throwing craps like in the back alley with this dice, and that I believe that is a yes or no question from Hollybrook, and it gets a 4.
That was a no.
So we know. Let's get rid of the barricades.
So we go in the hard doors?
Yes. With the dice.
I want you to roll again, because if it said no on the other ones and then no on this one, then we have no idea where we should be going.
Then you just leave.
No question.
Go home.
Was a yes or no question. The dice answer all.
Yeah, use it.
Eustace's eye is twitching.
So we don't question the dice?
I mean, you can do whatever you want.
Eustace throws the dice to answer that question.
Roll again.
Never question the dice.
Eustace, like it bounces back like a yo-yo. Okay, it's a 5.
Roll again.
Okay.
It does not understand the question.
A third time, another 5.
Roll again. It does not understand the question. Maybe
Eustace
word it
is-
different.
Eustace is getting increasingly sweaty. 2.
Okay, it's a yes. So yes, believe in the dice.
Okay, can I use my quarterstaff and try to like wedge out some of the boards, like using it as a fulcrum?
Sure. With that, what would that be? I guess give me. Do you have proficiency with your weapon?
I don't think so.
Uh,
No. Oh yes, yeah.
give me a 2-hit attack, and we're gonna add your proficiency bonus.
Okay, I've never used them before, so I don't know how. Okay, sorry, 1 second. 7.
So with a 7 plus 2, that's a 9. So unfortunately, it's not enough to actually wedge the planks off. Does
Is
anyone
it moving
else?
at all?
I'm gonna say with that, you can see like the wood is not like petrified, but it's definitely not coming loose.
So
How strong is Mage Hand?
Not strong enough. I think it's a 5-pound limit.
I do have my special wizard's cap, so just let me look at these spells.
I'm looking
does
at.
anyone-
I could send a message to the planks. I could charm the wooden boards.
It's 10 pounds.
Oh, 10 pounds. Okay. Still, I think
I assume that's still not enough. Okay.
yeah.
Well, what
'Cause
if
otherwise
we
you could
all
just
pulled
pull
our,
it.
What if we all pulled our strength together?
I mean, if you all want to pull on it, you could.
Eh?
Yeah.
Brooke's strength is a -1.
We are stronger together through the power of community and friendship.
I'm
That's-
undead, my friend. I don't have much strength left in my body.
All right. Well, if you would like to do this, what you can do is however many of you want to can roll strength. You need to reach together a combined total of 40.
Okay. Okay. I will attempt to. Well, hey, there's a 13.
Hey, there you go.
What do I have to roll?
A strength.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you got 18. Oh, and that one. Okay. We'll come back to that.
Nat 20!
Oh, wow.
I got
A
2.
nat 20 minus 2. Okay. So
The dice are
We-
working through me.
we are currently at 38 out of 40. So,
We need
Okay, can I
somebody
take another deep breath and just give it a good heave-o?
does Hollybrook wish to participate or?
Please, Hollybrook, please.
I did. I got a 13.
Oh, I'm sorry, not Hollybrook. Myrtle.
Myrtle, please, lend us your strength.
You said strength.
Yes, please.
I would assume there weren't.
Okay.
That's enough.
You got more than a 2. You got a 5. All right.
Nice
It
rule,
doesn't.
nice
It
rule.
doesn't. It doesn't look at first as if it's going to come off, but eventually it does.
Behold the power of friendship.
With a loud crack, the wood comes clean off of the door. All of the panels come off, kind of in a Jacob's ladder thing, and the door is free. Ihaz, could you please give me a strength saving throw?
Did you padlock these doors because you didn't want us to bother with them, and now we're just all such stubborn assholes that we're like, no, we will go in.
Oh, look, another nat 1 on your strength save. Okay, so Ihaz, this is embarrassing for you. You've never done this before.
This has never
Um,
happened.
I swear this has never happened before.
Never normally happens.
I'm going to ask you for your preference and what not so much like your preference, but what you think your character would most be affected by. You could either take an injury, and this isn't just like a HP thing. This is like a physical, like my arm is torn or something like that, or it's a penalty in the sense of like you're going to have a disadvantage on a bunch of checks.
Go with the injury.
Okay, give me a D6, please.
Uh-oh.
1. Keeping the theme alive.
Cool. Terrible. Somehow, and perhaps it is a relic of your draconic ancestry, having come from lizards who, have lost tails and grow them back before. Where your arm meets your trunk of the body starts to literally tear. Not so much just like, oh, I tore a muscle. Like, no, I tore my body. Large streaks form around this thing. It doesn't fully like remove itself from the body, but in a horrific squelch, and with great pain, it does that. Give me a coin flip, 1 or 2.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Okay.
2.
With a 2, it is your right arm. You cannot use your right arm right now. You cannot do anything that requires 2 hands. But yeah, your right arm is completely unusable in this moment. A long rest will not heal it. You need to have a greater restoration or someone who is very proficient in medicine.
Wow. All right.
How does Ihaz react? Are you screaming? Do you hold this in stoically? Like, how does Ihaz do? And it's not hidden because you canonically do not have clothes to cover it.
Yes. Ihaz slinks back, makes a large sucking through his teeth sound, looks around at the group, and tries to pick out the most squeamish person in the group to show off the injury to as if he's proud.
I think that's either going to be Hollybrook or Eustace.
Probably Eustace. Just like
Oh,
jingle, like just, hey, what is this? Check out my arm.
Okay. Would Eustace faint?
Give me a Constitution saving throw with disadvantage.
Okay.
Okay, with a 7, yeah, you just fall backwards. all color goes pallid. Your eyes go glass over and you fall back.
Hollybrook's like, I know I'm supposed to do something right now, but I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Well, one of your friends just passed out. Maybe you can go help her.
If it's Hollybrook, I'm fully expecting there to be crude drawings on my face, given that's what a college party would usually entail.
Would mending work on this?
I mean, that's wow. Okay, yeah, I like that thought.
You could attempt it. It's definitely not the intended use of the spell.
Okay, I want to put on my fancy dancy wizard's cap and cast mending, which is a cantrip.
All right, give me an Arcana check.
Okay, 15.
Okay, with a 15, you can close the wounds, but the damage is still done. He's still unable to use his arm.
But it'll keep him from like bleeding to death or getting an infection.
Definitely the latter.
Okay, you cool with that, buddy?
All right.
Do it. Let's do it.
All right, well, you have one
Can
extra
I just
door.
slap him and then all the skin just grows back? Because it does say I have to touch it.
Sure, you slap where the ripped arm is.
No, I was thinking more of his face, like just like a gentle pat, and then his arm the skin just grows over. Here you go, little buddy.
I like the concept of you just smacking his wound instead.
Walk it off, slap.
The old Midwestern. Well, time to go.
Okay, so you have.
I have. Sorry, it took me a few minutes to find out how to unmute myself. I have a healing potion as well.
So you, the potion of healing would heal the HP loss, but will not it will not heal this status effect. This needs a greater restoration, which is a different type of potion or spell.
Okay. Sorry, thought I was going to be able to help.
No, it was a good chance or good idea. Well, Eustace is asleep on the floor, or not asleep, and there's an extra door to be opened. What would you like to do?
Honk shoe.
And we go into the room?
You
Sorry, I was
could if you
doing.
want.
Well, since the door almost ripped his arm off, I think I want to use Mage Hand to open it.
Sure. Using Mage Hand, you open the door, and inside is a much more dusty room. Like this room hasn't been used in quite some time. But as you see, there is a few items of note. There is a large spinning wheel with thread and different spools and things nearby. There's also a whole wall full of rolls of fabric. There is one of those, what do you call those, like panels that you dress behind?
Oh, like a room divider kind of.
Yeah, like one of those. But it's very decorative and very delicate. That's definitely used
A
to literally
screen?
dress behind.
A
Yeah, a
dressing screen.
A dressing screen. There you go. There's one of those. And well, you can see that there looks to be some type of mannequin with a dress or something on it, but you literally see the silhouette of this behind the screen.
Well, now another thought occurs to me. Was that there to keep us out or them in?
Well,
So I'm just I'm on the floor still, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we left you out in the
Okay.
hallway.
Oh, okay.
Give me another Constitution save. Just this one
All
flat.
right.
Okay. Yeah, you're still knocked out. All right. Well, you have an open room. What would you guys like to do?
next time you decide to do that, please not.
I was just showing the extent of my wounds to the most empathetic person in the group.
Honk shoe, honk shoe.
He does actually snore like that.
I like that after fainting, you're snoring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I want to check behind the screen.
Sure. You go in, and behind the screen, you see a mannequin. The mannequin does not have a head or arms, but it is made out of wood. And on the mannequin is a beautiful ball gown. It is of gold color. However, this dress is torn to shreds. It looks like one of the shoulders is completely ripped. On the bottom is all tattered and worn. It's badly damaged. Give me a perception check.
Okay. 19.
Okay. You see that on some of these tears, there are very crude and rudimentary stitching. It's not very well done. It's very wide, crooked, things like that. It's done with thread that does not match the fabric. And then you actually see what looks to be as if someone was trying to do that just before this room was closed. So the tear is still mostly open. There's some very wide stitches, and it looks like whoever it was just stopped midway.
Oh,
Wore a gold dress. Oh, that was Belle. Belle wore a gold dress. Oh, and it's all ripped to shreds.
It is.
Mm.
With a
I like
perception
this.
check, of 19, please give me either a nature or survival check.
My nature's +4, my survival's +1. So let's do a nature check. Oh, yeah, 6.
Okay.
We're all gonna die.
You obtain no extra information.
Well, I'm just gonna slowly back out of this room. Slowly, probably tripping over Eustace.
Eustace, give me a rationalizing check to rationalize yourself awake. Okay,
Hey.
at 16, you wake up. You're on the floor.
Oh wow, what a doozy.
did you say there was a spinning wheel in the room?
Yes, with lots of bobbins and reels of thread and twine, not twine, but yeah, thread and string.
Does anybody have the urge to touch the needle?
Nope. So I backed out slowly.
If you can phrase that as a yes or no question.
I mean, that was a yes or no question. Do you feel like you want to touch it?
Does anyone have the? You know what? All right. Eustace just whips those out. That's a 3.
That's a no. So no one wants to touch it.
I was going to say, should Eustace touch the needle?
I
Nope.
mean, that was a no.
Dice have shown me no. I twitch.
Does the room look at? Maybe I missed it. Does the room look like it's again like lived in, like it's currently being used?
No. So this looks like it has not been used for quite some time. There is a layer of dust everywhere.
Okay. Is this a bedroom, or does this more look like an arts and crafts room? I know there's another way.
This looks very specific to being some type of like making of fabric, thread, and clothing.
Okay. So why would they put a lock on this door if this is just them making fabric?
That's a good question.
Well, I mean, I feel like all of this is based on a lot of fairy tales, and there was the one where they made her weave fabric.
It is a golden dress.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is there a dress in there?
Yeah, the one behind the screen.
Okay, sorry.
It's a ball gown. It's like a golden color, but it's ripped to shreds.
Oh.
So Belle said something, and the beast overreacted and slashed her to death.
And then Sleeping Beauty tried to put it all back together. Or not Aurora. Aurora tried to mend it.
These are good theories.
Do we see a lot of mice running around that could be sewing and putting things back together?
No. Actually, you know what? Hollybrook, give me either just a perception or a nature check.
Well, perception's a +6, but it probably won't be great. Come on. 17 for perception?
Okay, cool. So, despite the fact that there are spider webs, you don't see any active spiders. You also don't see, like, you might expect to see rat droppings if there are rats in this castle, but you don't. It does seem to be devoid.
Huh.
Everyone needs a castle devoid of rat shit.
But yet we see spider webs with no spiders?
Yes.
Interesting.
Are there any bats?
Not in the room. No.
To the belfry.
Would you like to try to find the belfry?
It's probably up the stairs.
So, Hollybrook walks back out to the hallway.
Mm-hmm. Well, you never went in, but okay.
I didn't go.
Okay, so you're in the hallway.
The door that we just broke in, does it look like they're keeping things in the rooms or keeping things out of the rooms?
Give me an insight check with disadvantage.
Because she's an idiot.
No, because it's you're trying to get an insight from a door.
Ah, crap.
All right, and no, that's good enough.
I guess I wanted an 8. Okay.
Yeah, you got the +8. With a 13 total, you don't really think either. It doesn't seem like, oh, I'm keeping something away or I'm keeping people out. Or I guess it's more so to keep people out, but there isn't like a danger sense here. This is more like when a shop goes abandoned and you just board it up kind of thing.
Okay. So I walk back in, I'll tell the group that I think these are more like just storage. They're kind of like just keeping people out, like what you said. They're just kind of locking things up to keep them safe.
What do they need to keep a scratched up dress safe from?
I don't know. Is the dress actually made of gold?
From Cassandra's point of view, it was just a gold colored fabric.
I think your homework should be to read up on your fairy tales.
That requires me to find the time to do that.
All right, so you guys have looked. Well, Cassandra has looked into this one room. Do you guys wish to do anything else here? Go to the other room. Go to the other locked door.
This whole building makes me physically uncomfortable.
Same.
Let's just leave.
I mean, you could. You could just leave.
No, I want to go into the unlocked.
It's a mystery, but that doesn't mean it has to be our mystery.
Let sleeping beasts lie.
Not kissing any frogs. Not talking to any rats. I'm definitely not getting a pumpkin.
Well, what sections are unexplored? What do we have?
Well, you got two rooms in this hallway, a large door at the top of the main staircase, and another small door.
Let's go to the large. Let's okay, 2 doors in this hallway.
Can I do the small one?
So you could, but that would involve you going out from this area back to the main hall. But you could. That's definitely.
Oh, okay. But there's 2 in this hallway, right? Like right nearby,
Yeah.
we can just open and see. Let's just speed run it. Let's just open up all the doors and see.
Okay. Do you want to go to the barricaded one first or the open one first?
Let's go to the open one first.
Okay. You guys go to the open room. As you go in, you see that there are 6 beds made with fresh linens. This bed doesn't, or this whole room, excuse me, this whole room is devoid of dust or anything like that. Eustace, you were the first one in?
Yeah.
Do me a favor. Give me, please, I guess, a nature check or investigation. Give me an investigation check.
Whoops. Okay, that was nature. I'll do a investigation one.
Okay.
Not much better.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's a very clean room. 9, not 9. You got a 9. 6 beds. And it just clicks in your head like, oh, one for each of us. Ha ha ha.
Is Hollybrook in the background counting her fingers like 6 people, 6 beds?
Canonically, Eustace was quite pleased with himself that he made that connection. He was like, haha, I've noticed things. Math is fun.
But yes, so this does seem intentionally left for you.
Mm.
Okay. Well, we got a couple options here. There are a couple options here, guys. We could investigate underneath the beds and floorboards for a while, or we could move on to the other room. Do we see any like candy on the pillows or any notes?
Yes, there are one little bonbon on each pillow.
Oh,
Okay. So definitely not rat droppings. Actual
Definitely
bonbons?
not.
Wait a second. How many beds were there in here?
6.
Okay. Are they tiny beds?
Nope, they're full-size beds.
Okay.
In fact, 2 of them are slightly larger to occupy the 2 larger people of the group.
Oh, so these beds are definitely for us?
Yes.
Yeah,
Like, even
definitely
with-
not sleeping
like-
here.
0 insight check necessary. This is specifically for you to sleep in.
I'm just going to look at the ceiling and go, you know this is creepy, right? This is creepy.
Give me a perception check or a nature check.
Okay.
This whole castle is the Midwest.
Well, how did I get a 6 again? I feel like these dice are broken. I don't like this. And this is still creepy. I'm just out in the hallway yelling at the ceiling.
The dice are broken. Would you like to try mine? Oh, I have some right here.
Is this creepy, yes or no?
Okay. D6 and 3.
No, that's not creepy at all.
See, it's all safe.
The dice lie. This
They
is
have
still
never lied to us.
creepy.
They have never lied to us. So
Okay, I'm gonna go back out into the the room with the staircase.
Okay.
I'm storming down the hallway, and I stand at the bottom of the staircase, and I yell, "Come talk to us, you cowards!"
Okay.
So-
Cassandra does that. While that happens, what are the others up to?
Hollybrook kind of looks at the group and she goes, well, they're expecting us. Maybe she makes a good point. Instead of sneaking around here and trying to break into things, maybe we should just go, hey, come on. What's the point?
yeah,
We're-
agreed.
Instead of playing nice, come on out. Let's figure this out.
Direct communication. How could we go wrong? Speak openly and honestly from the heart. Hello, mysterious benefactor. We would request your presence so that we can confirm whether you are a creeper or not.
As a group, you go back out. You meet up with Cassandra, who is yelling out to whoever might be here. Cassandra, because you are getting some help from your friends, you can give me a persuasion check with advantage, please.
24.
Okay. Try it again just to see if you crit.
7.
Okay, 24 it is. With a 24, you call out into the ether and you hear footprints, or not footprints, you hear footsteps, very heavy footsteps. You hear the footsteps coming really quick. If anyone would like, give me a nature, just a nature check.
Yeah, you don't want me to do
15.
it.
Okay. The footsteps that you are hearing does not have shoes. This is flesh on tile. And as it comes, the heaviness is much more than the natural man. And you listen as steps go, and it goes for quite some time. And it keeps getting louder and louder and louder. And eventually, the leftmost door, you hear the grinding as if furniture was being moved. So wood on wood. And then as soon as that stops, you hear a latch being undone on the door, and then the door opens. All of you see coming through the door, this figure has to duck down in order to get through the door. They are taller than the door, and it is a light gray color with the first thing you see is just hair. You just see hair everywhere, light gray. It's very long. You almost don't make out a face. And as the head kind of bows forward in order to get through the door, all the hair sinks down, and it's very ring-like. It's kind of creepy. But as the figure emerges and stands at a full 12 feet tall, the hands, which are massive large hands that have claws, pull and part the hair, and you see what appears to be a lion's face. This person or thing or whatever it is stands, it just completely covered in its own fur. It does not wear clothing. So you see this person come through the door and says, and speaks out loud with a booming voice. Again, only Ihaz, Cassandra, and Carbon Fang can understand. And just says, "Welcome, guests.
Thank you for the invite, but what are we doing here? What is this place?
If you wish to use as a bit of respite, you may use our facilities. If you wish to eat or drink or sleep, you may do so. And once you are done, you can go on your way. I am not used."
Why does this place exist?
Why does my home exist?
I mean, you're in a country that seems to have no people in it. Everything's cut off. There's nobody else here but you.
Yes. It is quite sad. I have not seen people in quite some time. My servants, they are, how you say, exotic. And at this point, no role necessary. You hear as this creature mentions the servants, you hear almost like a cacophony of jungle sounds. You hear bird caws, monkey howlers, like a roar of some type of jaguar, but coming from a distance down a hall that you cannot see.
Did everyone in this country get turned into an animal of some sort?
No. They are always like this.
How long as always?
Well, I have been here about, I don't know, going on 200, 100 something. I have lost track.
So you specifically have been in this house for 200 years.
Almost, yes.
Now, Eustace can't understand a word he's saying, right? Or can he?
You do not. You hear a lot of French.
All right. So I just hear just vowels. Just
Yes.
vowels. Okay.
Oui, hon, baguette.
Yeah. I tug on Cassandra's coattail or shirt, and then I'm still looking at this fur beast. Oh God! Now that he said that, like, got the head of a Furby in my mind. Anyway, and
I was just thinking furry, but whatever.
I tug.
One quick thing before that, can you give me a either a nature or an insight check? Only because you have verbally heard this language before.
Sure. All right, just a moment.
I'm just standing in the corner talking to a lion guy. Honk, honk, honk.
9.
Doing a mime off.
Okay. Honestly, it was a low DC. Despite being a very booming and kind of gravelly voice, and you can kind of tell this person has not spoken in quite some time. But yeah, despite being a very bass-filled voice, this is a feminine voice. This is a woman speaking.
Oh, you got a lady beast.
Well, Beauty and the Beast has gone woke. They got the she beast now. The sheest. The
Beauty and the Sheest.
Beauty and the sheest.
So, Eustace, Hollybrook,
Beauty and the
and Myrtle.
Sheest.
Eustace, Hollybrook, and Myrtle definitely don't know anything that's going on, and also can't quite understand. Literally, the reason I knew this was the words that this person uses to speak is like in the feminine vocabulary, whereas it's not so much by the voice or anything. So Hollybrook, Myrtle, and Eustace, you just hear like a lion speaking French.
Wouldn't be
Somebody find the wardrobe.
I
has just like whispers to the others. She seems friendly.
Eustace can't stop staring, mainly fear for his life, but he's tugging on Cassandra's shirt and then to get her attention.
What?
And then without breaking his gaze, he just points to the dead bodies to like say, "Hey, ask them about all the dead."
Yes. Well, your hospitality is appreciated. Can you please explain why all these dead bodies are hanging out over here?
She looks over. I'm gonna have her roll. You will not see what she's rolling or what she gets, but she's gonna roll anyways. Give me 1 second.
Well, folks, it was nice knowing you. We're all gonna die.
I'm over with.
Thank God I have another character made already.
Performing last rites.
With a nat 20, she looks over and says, yes. We really should get rid of those. I forgot. Yes. That was quite some time ago, decades ago, and kind of like goes over to a dead body that's like on the staircase. And again, when I say dead body, that's being very
they're like skeletons and rags.
Yeah, they're basically just skeletons. And she kind of just like scoots it with her paw foot, and it just like clatters to the ground, but like is clear from the stairs. And says, yes. Sometimes I do not think about that day, but it was not a good time. There was a long time ago. Actually, wait, where are you from? You come into my house. I do not mind, but I do wish to know where are you from? You speak my language, which is good, but it has been so long since I have seen another person. What is your story?
Well, I'm happy to tell you where we're from, but could you explain, like, what the actual fuck is going on here? But, like, we are in a country with no people. We enter a house. There's fresh food laid out, and immediately the exact number of beds we would need. Obviously, it's magical, but, like, how did these bodies get here? Why are you here? Why have you been here for 200 years? What are the sheep outside doing fucking around? Like, I have no issue explaining to you our story, but like I kind of feel a little unsafe right now, and I don't really think you understand how fucking weird this is.
Give me a persuasion check with advantage.
Okay. That's a 6.
Okay, with a nat 1.
What else we got here?
Well, you got advantage, so you can do one more.
That's a 9.
Okay, better than the 6. Okay, she says, okay, I understand your predicament.
I'm freaking out, man.
Please, take of my food. I will join you. We will talk to each other, and we will figure this out. I will explain to you everything.
Okay. I turn around, and I tell everyone that doesn't speak what it was the French Draconic that has offered us food and has said that she'll eat dinner with us and explain what's going on. Does that work for everybody?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Sure.
All right. Do it.
Right. As you guys roll again, um, as you guys kind of buffet style take of the food, roll again. You all take. That's a no. So you don't wish to eat any of this food, Eustace.
I think I'm also not going to eat anything, but I will sit at the table.
Sure, you can
Be
take
polite.
a plate, but not eat. That's easy enough.
I'm just gonna like push it around so it looks like I'm eating.
Movie style, yes.
I'm an elf. I probably have an eating disorder. It's fine.
Oh, don't get Hollywood started on eating disorders.
Eating disorder.
All right. Well, people have plates. Some people do not eat. And as you all sit around and they explain, she does say, I guess I will go first. I tell you, my life, I lived in town, the village below. I was a young girl, and my parents, my mother died when I was young. I had 12. Well, I was one of 12 children. I had 6 brothers and 5 sisters. I was youngest of all. I grew up with my father. He was a trader. He goes across to many lands. And at one point, he goes out. He says, "Oi, I'm going." I'm British for a second. I am going out
It
for a
happens to
long
the best of
time.
the French.
I'm going out for a long time. Do you wish for me to bring you back a trinket from this other land? And my brothers, they say simple things like food and toys and whatnot. And the girls, my sisters, they ask for fine dresses and beautiful jewelry. But me, I am little girl. I do not wish of these things. I just say, "Oh, I don't want anything. Give me a flower." So he goes off, and his boat. He goes. He does the trade, a good trade. He makes lots of money. He has good money to buy these gifts. He buys the gifts, and then the boat sinks. He loses all the gifts. On his way back, he passes by the town, or not the town. He passes by the castle to get home, and as he comes up, he finds a rose bush outside. He passed it though. He goes inside, and he gets the same treatment I gave you: full food, a place to sleep. He does this, and as he leaves, however, he take the flower. And the man who lived here, he was a beast like me. He take my father. He say, "You are so ungrateful. I give you so much, and then you take the one thing that was not offered." And somehow, this is enough for him to take my father hostage. After some time, it is discovered by the family, and it. Long story short, we trade me for him. He goes back to home. I go to live in the castle, and time goes by. And eventually my siblings, they get older, they start to marry off, and I ask the man, I say, "Hey, I know I must live with you, but can I please go see my sister's wedding?" And he says, of course, you may go. He was not the best man, but an understanding man. I guess not understanding enough about a flower, but whatever. So he let me go, but he said only go one day. So I go, and we have wedding. Or I don't have wedding. I watch the wedding. It's very nice. I go back to the castle, no problem. This happens every sister, and eventually the one sister above me, she gets married, and I ask, I say, "I want to go to the wedding," and he says, "Of course, only go for one day, but you are welcome to go. You are free to go." Now, my brothers, they do not like the fact that I'm living with this beast, and they decide to kidnap me at the wedding. They hold me at home. They say, "You not go back to the castle." And I say, "I must go back to the castle. It is part of the deal. I don't have a say in this. This is not something I choose." And he allowed me to come here, but they don't want to listen. So the beast, of course, gets upset, and he sends a a horse to pick me up, and of course they do not want to let me go. So eventually the beast comes down with a mirror, which was very beautiful, polished metal, and Carbon Fang, who's not here, remembers that she found this mirror in the village. So she just puts two and two together. And the beast gives the mirror to the family, to my family, to say, you can always look in on your sister or daughter to know she is safe. And eventually they let go. They take me. I take the horse. I ride home. But after this, there was a bit of a schism between me and him. For many, many times he asked me, please, please marry me. You are so beautiful. And I say, you are not my type.
You are holding me hostage.
So I never give in. But after that, he stopped trying. He never tried. But unknown to us, the people in town found the mirror, and they saw me living with this beast. I must have been upset for whatever reason, I don't know. And they decided to storm the castle to take me back. That was a bad idea. The beast has many wild animal servants, large hippopotamus, jaguars with claws and teeth, birds that can pick out your eyes. It was not a good time, and pretty much the entire village, because the entire village decided to go on one assault, died. Unknown to me, they had locked my father, who protested. He was the one person to say, no, don't go. They locked him in his basement, and that is where he died, because I did not know he was there.
We saw him.
I don't know where my siblings went, or if they tried to attack as well, my brothers. That is another reason I never wish to look at these bodies, because I do not want to see them. But yes, they all die. However, there is one man. He fights with the beast who took me, and they went on the roof, and there was a skirmish, and the man, he wounds the beast bad, very bad. And after a little bit of fight, the man fall off roof to his death. He died. However, the beast, he also died on the roof, and after he died, somehow, I don't know why, the curse for the beast transferred to me, and I become this. And she like gestures at her whole body. I was wearing a dress. The dress goes rip, and I try to fix, but my hands, they are paws. I cannot sew. I cannot do most things. The animals also do not know how to sew. So I just go all natural now. And it has been me for quite some time.
How very French draconic. Anyway,
I live here in solitude, not knowing what to do, not knowing where to go. I did try to leave the village once. There was no one around. I travel very far. I find no one. I almost starve. I come home and I say, this is where I live, and I just stay.
Okay,
And-
so the whole town died in the
I didn't
assault.
get any of that, right? Like, I didn't
Eustace,
understand
Hollybrook, and
any-
Myrtle. Unless Cassandra was live streaming it, no one.
Yeah, I was translating as she was talking.
Okay, thank you.
That ends like her initial info dump of what happened. But she said, but you come to my home so many years later. Where are you from? How did you get here? Are there more people outside?
Not that I'm aware of. I think I mentioned that the airship crashed and we bailed and we landed not far from town.
Give me an insight check with advantage.
4 and then 20.
All right. One thing, when you mention this airship, she has no idea what that means. And two, but she is listening to you. And there's like, I'm going to say you had used a little bit more words, and she understands. Let me actually just ask you this. Do you mention that you are an adventurer yet, or has that not been a thing?
No, because feel like just the how we got here part, but I am asking everybody else what they would like to tell her.
So as of right now, of the things you have told her, she definitely doesn't know what an airship is, but for everything else, she is following along intently.
I will also apologize for yelling earlier. I was very frustrated. I'm a little scared.
She shakes her head. She says, I understand it is strange to find, especially if there are no other people around. This is a custom of people long since gone, I suppose.
Anybody else want volunteer
Hollywood is
information?
definitely eating the food at this point.
Sure. It's quite delicious.
Nice.
I would like to ask Cassandra to ask her anything about the sheep and then tell her that, hey, when we were here there was a sheep that were people, or sheeple, if you will.
Woke mind virus. Yes. So I'm just directly translating back
Okay.
and forth.
In response, she does say that she knows that sheep live in the village. This is the first she's or hearing of the woke mind virus. But she also admits that she didn't really pay attention to these sheep. She just figured these were like feral sheep living in an abandoned town.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they seem like they're all of one mind, like they're being controlled by a hive mind almost.
I'll take with your previous 20 insight. That doesn't mean anything to her, and she seems surprised by this knowledge. Like that was not something she knew.
Okay.
Yeah, I has just conveys that they, we crashed in from far away, knew very little of this area. It seemed like just kind of a black cloud on the map that like disappeared out of our history and our knowledge some time ago.
I don't think you need to give anything. She's going to make another check. Okay. She says, when I was young and people used to visit, they came from outside the village. The people are very different, and they say to us, who are you? Why are you here? Why are you so weird? And it wasn't just because of this, and she again points at herself. She says, no, it was just everything about our town seemed to be different, and the few time we leave the town, back when other people lived, in the same way, we did not recognize anything. We know where we live, but when we try to travel, the roads do not take us where we wish to go.
Ooh, interesting.
Where did they take you?
I'm going to say that Carbon Fang is here, and she's got her rolled up maps.
Hey guys, what's up?
And she points at Carbon Fang's maps, and says, that map is the map that works. However, I do not know any of these towns. I do not know these cities. I do not know anything. My knowledge of the world was much different. There were countries, kingdoms, places I knew and have traveled to. My father had traveled to specific cities and countries on his trip, and also he went by boat, and suddenly we are not near the ocean. I don't understand.
Whoa.
Okay.
It was very sudden when there was a day where we had our neighbors and then another day where we did not. I do not know what happened, but that was way before all of these.
And that would have been, 200 years ago, I think, based off of what she had said earlier?
Yeah.
More than that, actually, because...
Yeah, it would have been within her lifetime, plus the time that she's been in the castle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And based off, I'm really stretching here, when did the kingdom fall off the face of our maps?
About 150 years ago.
Okay, so there was a switcheroo.
This event likely predated the collapse of the country, but you don't know any type of cause or effect or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I mean, if roads suddenly don't go where they're supposed to go anymore.
Did one of you, I forget who went up into the bell tower of the church. Did someone take the flag? I think you did, right?
Yes, somebody did
Who-
take the flag.
Who has the flag?
Hollybrook.
I do.
I thought
do?
so. It was either you or me. I think we were the only two people that went up there.
Yeah, I think it
I
was
don't have it.
Hollybrook. Yeah. So she'll point to Hollybrook. She says, that flag is my country's flag, and no one else will wave that flag anywhere around in this area. So I know I am not home.
Okay, so maybe the castle was what got pulled an old switcheroo, or part of the town.
Eustace, give me just a raw intelligence check.
Okay, that's a 12.
Okay. You would assume that everything in Draconic came together.
Okay, gotcha.
So
Interesting.
the whole village, this whole castle, and just that. Because basically,
Okay.
once you leave the village, it's no longer Draconic.
All right, so the village got the switcheroo. The village didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on the village here.
Should somebody ask him? And again, I guess I don't know, since I don't know what's being said unless somebody's like actively
Cassandra is actively translating
Translating?
for everyone. Yeah.
ask him about the globe. Is that his?
Her.
Yeah, it's a her. Also, just small thing. When you found the dead body of her father, he actually had a hat that translates languages, but that was just not picked up, so it's fine.
That's why you always loot the dead.
Yep.
Also, no, wait a minute. You're just now opening up a can of worms. Like now we're gonna look at everything again.
That's true. That is
Instead of the
true.
wallpaper, we're just going to go through the castle and pick through every skeleton.
Skeleton number 429 has 3 copper pieces.
Beware.
You thought you were annoyed at us spending half an hour talking to the fucking sheep. Just wait till the next time we play.
So Hollybrook brings up the globe. She says, "Yes, that is that is the world as I know.
Interesting.
I can show you where I think I am."
Yeah.
She'll walk
Yes.
over to the globe.
Yes, please.
And in the northern hemisphere, a small peninsula-like bit on a continent, she basically points to the center of it.
Should somebody tell her that her globe doesn't match our globe?
She knows.
She knows.
What does the shape of the peninsula look like?
So this is the map that you see she's pointing at, and she's pointing to the center of the yellow.
Okay, that's what I wanted to confirm.
Wheel.
Oui.
Okay, so here's what we do. We find a way to their world and then track down the DM. And then we
Thank
fight
God I speak
God.
French.
We fight God, but in a nice way.
You buy God dinner, yes?
We buy God dinner. We have our characters buy God dinner to get on his good side to send us back with advantage.
I have a mechanics question.
Yes.
If we do this quest and get the world back the way it's supposed to be, well, this world specifically, would that count as an A-level quest because we saved our world, even if it wasn't our world?
I'm gonna say that you would know this being, adventurers in school. The quest needs to be approved by the government, basically. So they may well be aware of something about this, but if not, you could save the world. You might just have to kind of like prove that this was worth an A-level quest. It won't just automatically be given to you.
Okay, we go
Okay,
to this
so-
other world. We find all of our counterparts who have goatees, and we bring them back to our world. I'm not sure where it goes from there. I just want to see what the evil world version of it looks like. Everybody's like fully clothed.
Okay, so I'm just going to take copious amounts of notes of everything that we do and get her to sign off on it.
Yes.
I mean, you could try. Yeah, sure.
We have to prove.
And then I'm just going to go back to the guild and start screaming at people.
Excellent. Okay, Cassandra was actually thinking very similar along the lines of Eustace, which was, I would love to help, but can we get a official writ that says we did help in these specific ways?
So at this point, have you mentioned to this
No.
woman beast that you are adventurers?
Nope.
Okay, doke.
And Eustace probably will not.
Okie dokie. Ask the dice.
Oh no. Oh no.
Do you tell her that you are adventurous?
That was a yes or no question from God. 5. Okay.
Roll again.
1.
Okay, that's a yes.
Oh shit. Okay. All right. Eustace asks a question to Cassandra to translate it about these strange people that showed up that weren't from around here. Were any of them of the adventuring type, swashbuckling, or anything like that? I think there was a vague. I might have misinterpreted it, but there seemed to be some mention of adventurers early on.
Fucking adventurers.
So as Cassandra translates, the female beast replies. She said, "Well, the people they show up from, they were not." And at this point, everybody knows what's going on. So they were not French people. They come to this town, village, and they speak many things. But yes, they were people. They called themselves adventurers. There was a whole adventuring guild and a school and all red tape I never really care for. However, I do believe my father, he actually petitioned these people to find a way for me to become free, but they never do, and I am here now.
All right, so Eustace then, he's been holding it in, and he basically just barfs it out. Yes, we're adventurers, and we would like to help you out. The debt must be paid.
I'm just gonna say she understood that. And you see, she becomes kind of solemn, and she's like, "There is nothing you can do for me. My life has been lived. There's nothing here for you. A long time ago, my father would have paid you handsomely to save me from this castle. However, he is dead. There is no home to go to. Nothing."
All right.
Well, you don't
What check do I
necessarily
need
need
to
to
do
pay
then?
us.
I has
mean-
stands up, shows her his full form. And
Okay.
he's like, "Hey, in our world, you can go au naturel and no one cares. You'll fit right in."
She gives you
True.
2-finger guns.
What check do I need to do to start singing A Whole New World to cross the street to imply there is a whole new world out there that maybe home is not available, but a whole new world is out there?
Give me a performance check.
A 16.
Okay. You're a little rusty. You haven't sung in a while, but it's catchy. It rhymes in French, weirdly enough. And you have uplifted her spirit. She understands. She says, "But at my age, I do not wish to go out and about. But if life comes back, tell people they can live in this village. There is homes and open stores. They can come. I do not wish to be alone, but I also do not wish to go on adventures."
One final question.
Oui.
If you could go back to France, or as probably Eustace would call it, Francie, if you could go back to your home, Francie, one more time, would you do it?
Do you know if we are still friends with Prussia? Do we still hate the British? None
the
of this
French
makes
will
any
always
sense to
hate
you.
the British.
I just has a gut feeling that we still hate the British. But
That's
he
a
doesn't say that.
2, which I think is no.
2 is a yes, actually.
Oh, a 2 is a yes? Okay. Yes. Maybe. Signs point to yes.
What is a British? I hate it too.
she shrugs her
Suddenly, we're
shoulder.
all wearing tartans and playing the bagpipes. Our friendship is based on our mutual hatred of the English.
Ultimately, she shrugged. She said, "If the world was what I remember, sure, but it has been 200 years. I do not know."
Does anybody ask her what year it was when she?
Would that even make sense to us?
What's a year?
Yeah, your calendar, it's like 5,558 or something like that.
Yeah, we're all on
You're
the
like,
Muhammad calendar. We're not going to understand this Catholic.
All right, well, at this point, basically what she admits is that she doesn't need anything from you. You are welcome to stay the night here and continue on your travels. She thanks you for explaining things to her. She definitely doesn't get a full thing because, like, it's still a lot to take in. But she definitely feels a lot more informed than she has been for the past 150 years.
Hey.
I say we at least definitely stay the night.
Yeah, Eustace, the dice did not prohibit the bonbons, so...
Well, now that sounds like a question. Does the dice prohibit the bonbons?
No.
That's an incredibly French question, I just have to say.
5, and he's leaving
Gambling, desserts.
I was saying, what is
Accidentally
with the
eat the
dice
dice.
tonight not understanding the question the first time?
What is a bonbon?
Who of you guys are magic? So give me a second. So other than Eustace, you got a fighter, so no. You got a ranger, so no. You got a wizard, so yes. You got a cleric, so yes, and a rogue, so no. Cassandra and Hollybrook, give me Arcana checks.
Oh, that's a flat 0 for me.
Oh, what? Oh, okay. I thought you said you rolled a 0. I was like, how?
My Arcana was a +0. So I'm like, okay, I'm not expecting it.
Okay.
The dice disappeared during the roll.
Hollybrook, you don't understand what's going on, but Eustace is becoming more and more reliant on these dice, and it seems to be affecting him in a way similar to magic, but maybe not quite the same.
I put that in the back of my head. I don't bring it up to the group, but I'm like, this is a little worrisome.
And then give me a history check with advantage.
16.
Okay, with a 16, you remember at one point Eustace was trying to use his dice. Cassandra like smacked the dice out of his hands. They went about 10 feet and then just popped back into his hands. A detail that we never brought up again.
Okay, maybe I will bring that up to the group in the morning.
Live by the dice, die by the dice.
We're going to have a gambling intervention.
All right, so everybody had eaten except for Eustace, but everybody does get to sleep that. Oh, and Cassandra. At this point, Cassandra, if you wish to eat, you may do so, but you don't have to.
I'm good.
Okay. But everybody does go to sleep? Question mark.
Does go to sleep?
Hollybrook does.
All right. Sure. Hollybrook gets a full long rest. Everybody who goes to bed gets a full long rest. So if you had spent any spell slots, you get those back.
What I had again tomorrow.
I has your arm is still fucked up when you wake up, but
Yep.
At least your HP is up. All right, so we will wrap up here and we will join again in 2 weeks. A good job.
Hooray! You found things out.
As I expected.
Thank you for listening to Remedial Adventuring. The outro song is Thinking Doc by Anachronite, and our various ambient tracks are by Bardify. Our players have asked to remain anonymous, at least for now, but I have been your DM, Adam Souza. I'm putting together the next episode now, which should go live in about 2 weeks, so thanks again for listening, and I hope to see you again.
We are, in fact, Scooby Don't.